to do that is to use your console. Do you understand the meaning of console, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's just one person. It's just one person. Okay, I'll continue. So in console,
I don't know.
hello, you don't understand?
Yes, I don't understand. Please.
Okay, a console is this particular section in your browser where you can see your codes being run. You can see now this is the elements. We have console, we have sources, we have network. So this particular console for a JavaScript developer is very important. You come here, you check for issues. Now you can see that on this particular page, there are issues here. You see one using, like there are so many issues for a developer to see and understand why things are not working properly. So you come here and you see your code. Don't worry, you get to learn to understand it very well. But this is where a JavaScript developer comes here to check his codes, if a certain thing is working properly or not. Do you understand now? Hello, Prof.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so I should go
Thank you.
ahead. All right. So the first thing we will learn is to understand the basic use of consoles. And the second thing is to learn alerts. You might visit a browser, a web page, and you see a pop-up that shows you hello, like it's just a pop-up that shows you whatever you want it to show. The next one is variables, which on the discussion, we had this particular discussion, and I had to explain that this is for storing values. If you want to use the value again, next time you store in a variable and you call it and use it. Then this is a prompt. That's the fourth thing we'll be learning is a prompt. In this prompt, you will get a pop-up just like alert, but it's not an alert. This prompt will ask you a question, like a pop-up input box. It will ask you something and you put in and it will you get it. So the next one is the confirm element, which is very important in your journey as a JavaScript developer. You have to use this on your web browsers, on your applications. If you want the user to confirm one or two things, maybe the user wants to delete an entry from a table, you have to prompt the user, are you sure you want to delete this? So if it was a mistake, the user can say no, or if the user wanted to delete it, he can say yes. Then the next one is conditionals. In conditionals, we mean a statement that if, okay, let me just clear it out grammatically. In conditionals, we have, for example, a state that says, if your age is 23, do this. Else, if it is not, do this. So we have in so many websites that in a date of birth, if you're not above 18 years old, you can visit that site. So what they do is that on the date of birth, on the form, maybe the sign-up form, they'll put an input box or whatever they want to put. If the age you put on that input field is not 18 or above, you cannot sign up. So that's one important example of conditionals. Then the next one is greater than or equals to. We already know this in mathematics when we're in school. When something is greater than, less than, or equals to, do this. It's still under conditionals. And if we have time, I can show you guys how to submit a form in JavaScript. Like it would be very cool. So do you have any questions so far based on what I've said? Hello, is everyone there?
No question, sir.
No, sir, no question.
Okay, all right. So we start with console. Let us understand the use of console. So this is just a dummy image I got from Google, which just shows JavaScript. So there's nothing peculiar about this image. So you can ignore it. Okay, on your Chrome browser, I'm using a Mac though, but on a browser, it's going to be the same settings. In your Chrome browser, you can right click on your mouse and you see inspect. Uh, Actually, there are two ways to open it, but let me just show you this and I'll show you the next way. You select inspect and you see element by default, but we're not looking for element. Do you all know what this place is for based on the training you had so far with HTML? This particular section, do you know what it means? The head, the body, and image. Can you guys remember what this thing means?
Huh?
Hello?
Hello, sir.
Okay, so I'll continue. This is what we're looking for, which is the console. When once you open this inspect element section, you see this as default. But what we're looking for is the console, which is here. You click this and you see a particular area which works for JavaScript. Do you guys understand?
Yes, sir.
Can you open this on your own? Okay, that's using the
Yes,
shortcut.
sir.
Let me try and open it without using a shortcut. So you come here on your Chrome browser, you select this, and you come to More Tools. This is actually the long way. That's why I prefer the other one. You come to More Tools, and you come to Developer Tools. When you click this, it brings up this. So it depends on what you want to do with it. You guys understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So down here, let me just quickly show you guys variables on the console. So now, to write a variable, you can either use var or what? I mentioned it on the channel. I mentioned three syntax use of variables. So this is one. It's remaining two. Can anybody answer tell me the next two?
Let
What?
let and
Okay.
constant.
Oh, nice, nice. It's actually const, but it means constant. Right. So in this case, we'll be using var, which is variable. Okay. Now uh, we want to set a variable which is called Joseph, which is called name. And name, we want it to be, let's say, Joseph. So we are done. Yes. And that's set. If you want to call this, we can say name and to bring it out for us. So this variable we set here, which is name, can be used again repeatedly. But you can unset this name by typing var name and put a new value for it, which can be, let's say, glory. And now if we type name, it will show us, what will it show us?
Glory.
Okay, nice, awesome. So in using var, we can interchange this variable repeatedly, which was the first one I did is Joseph, and I changed my mind. I use glory. The same thing with late. Let's say late school is equals to let's say Lagos University. Do you guys understand why we have this undefined? Or because I was thinking someone will ask me why we are getting undefined.
No, sir. Please explain.
You understand?
No, sir.
Okay. So the reason why we're getting undefined is that once we press enter to the next line, in default, JavaScript sees that as a value, but that value is nothing. So the only thing it can print out is undefined. So if you see this when doing this, it is actually normal. That's how JavaScript was created. And once you press enter, it sees the next line as an undefined variable. So that's why we get this. Okay, so do you guys understand variables?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, so we move on to arithmetic methods, which in JavaScript you can actually, let's say var sum is equals to 2 plus 5. When we run sum, it will calculate this amount and give us 7. So in JavaScript, you can use it for arithmetic methods, which is calculations. Let's say var multiply is equals to 2 times 5. What will give us? What will this give us? Hello? 10 already. Yeah, you've seen it. So in JavaScript, you can use this as a calculator. You can use it as a variable where you get your variable which is stored in the local storage. And for that, we'll move to the next module, which is alert. But before I go on, do you have any question on this, on the console part, which is this? Do you guys have any question, feedback, contribution?
No, sir.
So far, you're the only one in this class, which is not acceptable. Everyone needs to unmute their mic and contribute.
I have a question, sir.
Yeah,
Okay,
please,
awesome.
let's respond. Let's respond, please. JavaScript is a course that you pay good money for. I mean, this is coming free. It's not. So let's respond, please. Let's respond. Thank you.
All right, Joseph,
I have a question.
Victor, you have a question. All right, what's that?
Yes, sir. You opened the Java file from the browser.
No,
But
this particular console. Sorry, let me correct you. This particular console is not a file. It is
okay.
It is where developers can come here and test their codes. Like it is built for JavaScript. You understand?
Okay.
Yeah. So you can continue.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, was that a question?
No, no.
Okay, okay. You can ask the question.
It was not the question, sir.
Okay, okay, all right. Does anyone have any question? I think Emmanuel was about to ask a question also. Okay, no question. All right, so the next part won't be on my browser anymore. It will be on my text editor, which by now you guys must have downloaded one or two. Preferably, can you guys type the name of your text editor on this chat? Let me understand. For mine, it's Visual Studio. Let me understand why you downloaded what you downloaded. So we can, okay, just a Visual Studio code. Okay, nice, nice. Only Visual Studio. Why now? There are so many.
Yeah, actually, it was recommended at the start to get Visual Studio Code. That was his first session.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, that's my own personal preference. But I did my ideas.
Yeah, VS Code is actually better than the rest. I'm not the ambassador or whatever. I've used it, and I know that it is better than the rest. We have brackets, we have sublime text, we have there are so many. But preferably as a upcoming developer, Visual Studio Code is better because it will help you to understand what you want to do. Okay, so let's dive in. For mine, let me create a new project just for this so we can align alerts. But before that, just give me 1 minute. I'll be back. Just 1 minute. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. So I was about to create a folder which we will do all our. Is everyone hearing me? Can everyone hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So I'll create a new folder on my desktop, which will be called JavaScript tutorial. Okay, then I open that. Hope you're not confused what I'm doing. Okay, so the first thing I'll do to make my code clean is to bring in a various folder and create a new file, which will be index.html. All right. So yeah, I hope you guys understand HTML from the tutorial you had. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me just get out a basic HTML, page where we can create our code. Sorry, the person should disable it or mic. Okay. So we have body and on the channel I made mention that we can use our JavaScript pack below the head and below the body. I hope you guys understand what I meant by that. Okay. Okay. So let me preview this. check that everything works fine. Okay, so this is what we get, but my own spelling is off. So let me correct that. Okay, hello world. Can you see my screen? Okay, the first thing
Yes, sir. We can.
yeah, the first thing we have to do is to show you guys how to do an alert in a web page. So what I'll do is after my body tag, I'll type in the script, which is for JavaScript. And am I too fast? Not. And what I'll be alerting is hello world. If I run my code, I'll see an alert here, which shows hello world. If I change it to hello programmers, I'll get this. Do you have any questions so far? Let me continue. Any questions? Hello?
No, sir.
Okay, all right. So what I did here is that for the syntax for alert, it is just to type, JavaScript is actually very simple. Just to type the alert and open a bracket and put in your string. But another way we can do this that will make it more cool is to assign a variable to this. Var name is equals to, let's say, Victor. And Victor is the only one that is responding. So let's say we need to alert Victor. We type that. Let's check that. Okay, it has to be, it has to make sense. Just, you can't just call someone Victor like that. You need to either greet the person. Okay, so by this, what we'll get should be hello Victor. Let's try that. Exactly, so that's what we get. I assigned the variable, which is Victor, and I greeted him, which is hello Victor. You understand that?
Yes, sir. We do.
Okay, all right.
Yes,
So
sir.
can you do this without any supervision? It's actually very simple. Do you understand this plot?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand this? Do you know what I did here? Okay, can you
Yes,
explain,
sir.
Victor? Just so that those that couldn't understand can understand.
You simply added a string with a variable. Did you hear me?
Which is, yeah, I can hear you. Which the variable is also a string, which is this. So this particular function.
Okay, someone is talking.
Okay, all right. Hello, he's talking. Okay. So what I did here is for concatenation. You concatenate a string with a variable by using plus. Let's say I want to add another variable. Let's say description. All gentlemen. What I'll do here is to concatenate it with description, which is here. And in order to give it space, I need to add a space to it, which will give it a breathing room instead of name, the four gentlemen. So this is done to give space. You concatenate hello plus name plus description. So let me run that so you can see. Okay. So we have hello Victor, the four gentlemen. All right. So everyone understands that. Okay. So we move on. The next thing we're going to do is variables, which I've already showed you guys, but let me just touch it again. So in variables, you store in a you store a value or an object, but object is not for beginners. So let me not bring that so it won't confuse us. So you store a variable by using var or let or constant. So in constant, as I said, constant can only be set once. You can't change this anymore. If you want to change it, you have to remove it and use var instead. So this is basically done. Maybe we want to set the name of this particular website to a name that cannot be changed. So what we use as a variable will be a constant, not a variable. Because a variable, someone might mistakenly imagine this code now. It's like 10,000 lines of code. Someone might not remember that I've set the name of the website to be this before, and we'll try to change it again. Or imagine a group of developers working on one particular JavaScript code. If you use constant, even though the other developer wants to change the name of the website, it will not change because we already have this thing, which is CWD bootcamp. We already have this set, so it won't work. So by so doing, what you want to keep on changing, you can use let or variable. So that's very important. That's why I'm repeatedly saying this, because you need to understand what it means. Okay. So yes. So in variables, let's say you want to set student also CWD developers. Although I've already done this, but let me just break it down. Past student is equal to CWD developers. Then, one important thing in JavaScript, you can add this to stop this particular code, or you can leave it. It's actually optional. So in my case, let me remove that. Let's say learning. Learning will be, okay, let's do it this way. Lesson one. Lesson one is HTML. And lesson two, CSS. Lesson three, JavaScript. So what we can do here is to compile all this to make sense, because these are variables we have set and we want to use it in our code. What we do here is to call it, let's say the last one will be var everything equals to, let me open this. Okay, let me just use strings. Var this is equals to, then, okay, let me just use brackets. Student dot, let me copy this because I'll use it again. plus lesson 1. Just to show you can arrange it any way you want. Lesson 1 plus, we already have this, plus lesson 2 plus lesson 3. So if we alert this, everything, all this will show. All what we have set in this variable is going to show, which is student, which is, okay, let me just run it so we see it and understand. Okay, so this is what I was saying. If you don't add those quotation marks, it will be jointly and it will make sense. So let's fix that. What we do here is add this grid. Let me just copy this and duplicate it. This should work now. Okay, let me refresh. Oh, it didn't work. We didn't give space actually. It's just okay. Okay, now you can see that we have space here, which is the variables we have set. CWD, developers, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So by variables, we set this and we get it. We can actually, one important thing, we can actually console log this in our console. So to do that, you type console.log. And what you will see on our console when we run this particular website will be this, which is everything. So let's just check it out. Open our console. I hope everyone is following. Is everyone following me?
Yes, I will.
Okay. If you have any question, you can stop me and ask me. Okay, let's rephrase this site. Just focus here, you'll see what will appear. Do you guys see it? My developer
Yes, sir.
no. Okay. Nobody corrected me. Okay, so when you console this where, okay, for example now, we want to check if this thing is working properly. Okay, let me put an error here. We want to check if, the only way to check this, if everything is working is either we use a console log or an alert. But the reason why developers don't use alerts is that it is kind of annoying, sorry. You see something pop up and it becomes a drag in the ass. So it's better to console log it on the console, which is the right place for it to appear, than make it come up. So let's run this again. We will definitely get an error, which is this. So in our code now, we're busy typing the syntax. We didn't check what we're doing. So the only way to see if we have an error is here, which as you can see, it has told us uncut reference error, which student is not defined. So now a developer will see this and, oh, I have an error in line 23. So you understand this is your code and you know what you did. So you come back here and say, oh, this is the error. Let me correct it and save. So console log allows you to see errors and find a way to correct it. So let's clear this and refresh. Now we see there's no error. The same thing, we can console log students, just this, which is a variable, which is there. And do that, and it's working, just that. Okay, let's try and alert it. Alert. Okay, you see, this is annoying. I'll need to click OK every time. Although the other one is better, which you can just see it here. We don't need to move our mouse or whatever. Okay, with that being said, let me show you how to put this in a separate file instead of calling this on our website, which is it's not advisable. So let me create a new file, which is called index dot. Oh, that's bad. It's supposed to be outside. Okay, let me rename this to project. Rename to JavaScript tutorial. Okay, so this won't run anymore because we changed the path. In order to do that, and copy this path and correct it here. All right. So in this, let me create a new folder for us, which will be called JavaScript or JS to make it simpler. And we create a new file. Do you guys understand what I'm doing? Creating all these folders and files. Can you do this? Can you create a file in your VS Code?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
all right, cool. So this, you create a new file, which will be index.js. The reason why we have this extension is so that it will reference it as a JavaScript document, which is JS, JavaScript, just like HTML, hypertext markup language. So in our JS, we will duplicate what we already did, which is here. Instead of bugging our code with unnecessary lines of code, we don't need this. We come here and paste it. Okay. So the way to reference this, as I said earlier, you can put it here or you put it here. Can anyone tell me why you can put it here before the body tab? Hello, Victor, can you help us to explain why we need to put it, why if you want to put it over here or why we can put it below here? Hello, Victor, are you there?
I'm there, sir.
Well, can you remember why I said that?
No.
Okay, the reason why I said that is that if we put our JavaScript file above here, you know this is a markup language. When you open this website, it starts from here to render. Render in the sense that it loads all our codes to show us what we have written. It renders from here to here. So if you put the JavaScript reference link above here, it will get out the reference file first before loading the body element, which is our main website. So this, in this case, we do this if we want our JavaScript to appear first before our HTML file. Sorry, before our body tab, which is the main website. So I hope you understand now and you can understand why you need to put it in any of these places. Okay, let's continue.
Yes, sir.
All right, so I choose to put it here, which is under. And to reference this, I check how do you do this? Check this. and come here and say, and you close this by doing this. So what this does is that you can understand now based on CSS tutorial we had yesterday that you need to call based on the path where it is. And it is better for this to be under this folder. It shouldn't be outside of this folder because, for example, now if this site is being hosted in a particular host service, you don't need to be calling another file elsewhere. You need to call it under this folder, which makes sense as a developer. So this file, which is here, let's say if it will give us what we had before. Before that, let me alert our code so we can see it. Okay. This. Oh, sorry, Manuel. Sorry. Okay. We can't find that file. Why? Let's quickly fix that. Could this be the reason? Let's check this. No. So to avoid this, just take it out. So yeah, so it will make it complex. We'll take this one out also. All right, so this will be index.js, which is here. Great file. Okay, then let's delete this one. All right, it's all settled. So we can see our JavaScript file is loaded on this path, which is this. Okay. All right. Do we all understand what we just did?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can actually put it above also. It is still load normal, which is this. So based on what you're doing and where you want to put it, all right, let me leave it here for now. So the next thing we will do is, let's check this, is to do a prompt. So by a prompt, well, you understand what it means. Let me show you. Okay, so let's comment this out. Okay, let's just copy this first and create a new file which is prompt.js. So it's actually empty right now. So what I want to do is, once this page loads up, it should ask me a question. Let's say, hello, Godfrey, hello, what is your name? Then I will answer. It will kind of be like a game. It will be interesting. It will ask me my name. It will ask me my age. It will ask me things which I will put. So let me just do that. Do that by prompt. What is your name? So if I visit this site now, I should get a question. Did you all see this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, where I can put Godfrey, can put Victor. So this is done by, let's say a site wants to get the person that is using it, the user that is using at the moment. In my own case, I'm asking this user, what is your name? So we can save it and use it again. And we are going to save it in this tutorial. So this particular one is asking me, what is your name? And I answer, Victor. Say, okay. So let us make it more brief and more cool. Do you have any questions so far based on prompts?
No, sir.
Okay. So you do this
No,
by
sir.
saying prompt, and you open a bracket and you put the string. And you can also use a variable for this. let's say question equals to what is your name? So instead of writing this out again, we can just type question. Let's write it. Awesome. So it takes it from this variable which we have set. That's why I said variable is actually very important in JavaScript because you'll be setting variables and reusing it. Let's say I want this to be constant, shouldn't change, which is this. Okay, what is your name? Let me try and see if I can override that question. What do you want? It should throw an error, but let's just see. Okay. So you can see now that we have used constant, which is up here. And we try to override this particular variable. And because this is constant, we can't override it. And it throws us an error in our console.log, which I said is very actually important. So I clear this, I refresh, I'll still get the error. So this is very important. Let me say it again. Sorry, I'm saying it again and again. You need to take notes. Console is very, very important in JavaScript because it will show you an error and you know how to fix it. Now it has showed me that uncaught syntax error identifier question has already been declared, which is our constant variable on line 2. So we are trying to do Ujuru in line 4, which is this. It shows us the error and we know how to fix it. So we come back here and say, no, we can't override that guy. So let's say the question is already there. So we don't need another thing. So this happens. Awesome. So do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any question? So we can move on.
No, sir.
Okay. All right. So what I'll do now is.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, I would like to know if there's any command that you could use instead of prompt.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
I said, is there any command you could use instead of prompt? Like,
To get this out. No, it's only prompt.
yes. Okay.
It's only prompt.
So what's now the difference between prompt and what's the difference between prompt and alert?
Okay, an alert is just showing you what you said it should show you. Why prompt is asking you a question. Like prompt needs you to put an answer to the question. So you can see the difference. This is an input field which you have to put something. And why let's alert is why alert is just showing you something and you have to click it. So prompt will ask you a question and alert will show you the question. But don't ask you. Hope you understand. Okay, all right. So we're going to do a little game right now, which we will ask, which we will ask, which we will ask, hello, what's the name? If the name is less than 18, it will show this. So let's quickly do that. Name is equal to. Does anyone have any other question? So let me not just confuse. Let me not make something confusing. Do you all have a question or we should continue? Final answer, continue.
Continue, sir.
All right, so let's do this. So first of all, let's start afresh. Let's cancel this. Let's, if I'm too fast, you can stop me. Let name be equals to prompt what is your name? Yeah, you can actually use a prompt as a variable. So whatever you get from this answer will be called name. Do you understand? You can use prompts, you can use alert as a variable. So what's, okay, sorry, you can't use an alert, but you can use prompts as a variable because the value that will be put there will be used as a value for this guy, which is name. Okay, let's name be equals to what is your name? Then H. I'm actually using let, so you can use var or constant equals to another prompt, which is prompt about that. Why is this thing not working? Prompt. Hello. Hello. Perfect. If I'm not missing, you're not too far because I've already showed you guys this, so it shouldn't be confusing. Hello, Godfrey. We need to put this. Hello, Godfrey. How old are you? Plus this. Who are you? So what I'm showing you guys is that you can actually use this as your bot. Do you understand what a bot means? On your website, you can have a bot. Yeah, you can have a bot that asks the user question, a chat bot. So you can store all the answers in a variable. Then your bot will be asking the user, hello, what is your name? And this and that and that. So whatever the user gets, the bot will check the dictionary, which will get, but that's complex, but I'm just telling you why you can use this. Okay, how old are you? So when I get that, I need to, okay, let's say, okay, let me just alert this for now, so it shouldn't get too complicated. Alert H. So let me check this. It asks me, hello, what is your name? Say, Godfrey. Say, okay. And he asks me, hello, Godfrey. It gets, did you see this? It gets the value from the first thing which I put, which is my name, and add it with this. I am 90 years old. Install that. This page says 90. So it is after all this, it alerts the value you get for the age, which is this one. But to cancel that, we can expand it to be more comprehensive. All right. So this.
It's 7 o'clock.
It's actually 7 o'clock. Okay, so you get this. No, that's a string. So let me just do this. Alert name plus age, which we got from this. First, what is the name? Godfrey. say, okay, how old are you? Hello, Godfred. Okay, let me just fix that so we can have a space. Okay, so I refresh this. Start again. That's right. Okay, Godfred, how old are you? Say 40. We continue. Godfred 40. So it tells us the value, the name, and the age. Okay, all right. So let's continue. So let's bring in the conditional now. If if let's say age, we need someone above 18 years old. If age is equals to 18, alert you are welcome to this site. Else, alert you are not allowed to enter the site. Okay, so what this will happen, what will happen is that we ask the user a question, what is your name? We want to find out the name of the user, which is to know if the user is 18 years old, or we're going to put or above, 18 or above. So what we'll do is that if the user is equals to, this is a conditional now, is equals to, is the same thing as 18. If what we are getting is the same thing as 18, we will welcome the user by saying this: you're welcome to this site. If the user is not 18, we will say you're not allowed to enter this site. But there's a bug in this code. Who can explain to me what the bug is? Let me continue. If you cannot, I'll still explain it and continue. There's a bug, yeah. So who can explain?
You mean the bug in the code, right?
Yeah, the bug in the code.
Okay. The the condition you is I mean you put age which and both of them are not tallied, so you should use strict equality. This you set age to be 18 here, right?
Yes.
So I feel like that's where the error is, because if I supply probably something else, maybe it will not accept it. I don't know. That's what I feel like. I just feel like it's a number. The variable you declare is a string, which happens to be a name, and you declare to be a number here. So I feel like that's where the error is.
Okay, yeah, you're almost there. But the error in this code is that we want only someone that is 18 years.
Okay, so the wrong country.
Yeah, so the conditional is the wrong. We won't know who is 19 years old. We won't know who is 20 years old. Do you understand? So we are just
Yeah.
checking the person that is 18 years old. What if I was
Yes.
18 years old yesterday and I want to enter a site? Would that mean this is wrong? So let's all check what this is. Then I'll change the error. Okay, on this code. So on this code now, to pass name. And if I say 12, it will give me the you are not allowed to enter the site, which is what we said that should happen if this guy is not 18 years old. But if we say this, we say, okay, I'm 18 years old, then this guy will welcome me. So you are welcome to the site. So that's the conditional, but that is wrong. So let me fix that. So this is supposed to be if H is greater than, or can you complete the other one? Can anyone complete that?
Equals to.
Yes.
It's greater than or equal to, yeah. Okay. Final answer.
Yes, it's greater than.
Yes, sir.
Are you sure? Okay, so that's the right answer. So if this guy, if the visitor is 18 or greater than 18, then the user will pass. But if we don't even have to write the other condition. This is what we want. So we don't need to say else if or another if statement. This is what we want. So if H is greater than 18, I welcome you to my side. But if you're not, no, you have to go. So let's say, hello, Victor. How old are you? Okay, I'm 19 years. I've welcomed you. So let's take one that is lower than 18. Let's say 17 years old. The guy is following. So let's say 17 years old.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This will show me you're not allowed to enter the site. So conditionals are actually very, very important. So with this, I can assume that we all understand it. Do you have any other questions? Okay, let me pick this up for us. So what I did here is I asked the user the age, and the user provides a value, and I check from that value, is that value above 18 or lower than 18? So this is what I use. This is if I use greater than, it will be above because I'm only checking from 19. So that guy might be 18, but we can still use 17, but it's not really preferable. So the best thing you can do here is to add this, which is greater than or is equal to 18. So we can actually do this also, which is equal to 18 or less than. Sorry, or less than. Okay. So I assume everyone understands that. Okay, so we continue. Hope there's no question. Is there any questions?
Sorry, please, can you
Go back to the code, right?
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, can you flip back to the index page, please? I just want to see something. Index page. Can you flip back?
Can I do it?
Can you quickly flip back to index page, please?
Okay, the feedback.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, we can go ahead now. Thank you. Yes.
So is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So this loads the prompt and brings it out. Okay, so remove. The next thing we'll do is to confirm. So we have done console, we have done alert, we have done variables, and we have done prompts. Prompt is actually very interesting. Also with confirm. Okay, so the next thing we do now is confirm. Do you guys have any questions based on all this we have touched? This console, alert, variables, prompts, and confirm. Okay, no questions. So let's move on. So the next thing we do is to come back here and comment this out. Let me just skip this because of time. What we do here is confirm. Now we click it. So down here, it will be something very simple, just like prompt. You only have to type confirm. Which will bring a pop-up. So prompt, confirm, and alert brings out a pop-up. But they show different things. Confirm, you will see how confirm is. Prompt asks you a question. So it needs you to put in an input on that box. While alert is just showing you something. I hope you understand and you're following. Okay, all right. Let's continue. So in confirm, just like prompt, you can. Are you sure? Because that's the purpose of this. Are you sure of this? All right. So continue. All right. So this is the confirm now. You can notice that we have the question. Okay, let me just make it a question so it won't be confusing. I hope everyone is following. Okay, I rephrase this, and this asks me a question. This is done if a user, as I said before, if a user tries to delete something, there will be a pop-up that asks the user, "Are you sure of this? Should we go on to delete this, or is it a mistake?" So in this case, if it was a mistake, you click cancel and to stop the what you were trying to do. But if you click OK, it will then proceed and do what you want it to do. All right. So that's actually very simple. So we can actually use variables to it. Let's say, are you sure of this? Are you sure of this? Then the next thing we'll do is name. So what we'll do is just to call this variable and get the inputs, sorry, and get the value and confirm. The reason why developers use variables is that it helps them instead of writing codes multiple times, it just helps them to keep the variable and be using it repeatedly. So in this case, mine is name, and I don't need to be writing name again here. So I just need to set all my variables here. Let's say I want age, I want phone. Let's say my phone is 090000. I can't share my phone number here. Then the age is 100. So instead of typing this again, let's say we have two developers. One is to provide variables, and the other one is to use those variables. So the other developer would finish making the variables, and when the developer is done, he will tell this guy, "Hey, I'm done." So this guy will come here and get the variable names, which is name, age, and phone, and input it here instead of writing it again. So with that, refresh. You can see it brings out the name. Okay. And age, bring it out. And name. So I hope you understand the flow. All right. So,
Yes, sir.
so that's confirmed. It's actually very simple. So conditionals, we've already done that. Greater than, we have already done that. And something very important, which we all need to know, is what I will do now. It's not here, it's just a bonus track. So I'll tell you guys how to submit a form using JavaScript. So let's get to that. Okay, on our, let's create, okay, let's create a new, file. Let's create a new file, which is, let's say, form.html. This starts a new document. We are all following this because it's what we learned.
Yeah, following, sir.
This, let's say contact page. We have the body here, which will have a div. Which is this, and this div will say, okay, there's no point for that. The next thing we'll do is form. Okay, in this form will have a class. I actually need to use Bootstrap, so this can be cool. Let me try and see if I can see Bootstrap install. Bootstrap CDN. I hope you all know what's Bootstrap. It's not confusing. Okay, so give me 1 minute, I'll come back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Are you guys still following?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So let's try and insert Bootstrap, which I already got. So just need to so let's this is container Bootstrap. Then let's to working. Yes, we have to make a new tab. So let's comment. Oh, we're in the wrong place. Okay, awesome. So this is our contact page. There's nothing is. Let me close this for now. It's actually empty. So let me test if what I'm doing is okay. H1. Welcome to Bootcamp. Okay, awesome. It's working. And what we need to do is, okay, just how to submit a form. In JavaScript. Okay, like that. Then under this form, we will have another div. Which will be the class will be form group. The form group and under here we will have label. Let's say first name. And we'll have the input, which is type, which will be a text. Is everyone following? Am I too fast? Is everyone following?
We are following, sir.
Okay, I hope I'm
Yes,
not.
sir.
Okay, I'm not too fast, right? Let's confirm. That's the first name. Okay, so we have 3 input fields right now. We need to give this first name, name, and email. Email address. Okay, so this one is name. It's the first name, last name, and address. All right. So the next thing we have to do now is to assign the ID. You can say this one is first name. This one is last name. The reason why I'm using ID is that ID is a unique identifier which we can use in our JavaScript file. That guy will blow my ear.
I've muted him. I've muted him. Sorry.
Okay, all right. Okay, email. So email will be email. So it can give us the validation. Okay, we have first name, last name, email address, and the last thing we need is message. So this will be message. As well. So here's what we have, which is, I don't know why our Bootstrap is not working. Let me check for another CDN so we can make use of it. So one important thing, as a young developer, you need to be using W3 schools. They have good content. You can see based on what you select, you have HTML, CSS, JavaScript, SQL. From here these are for people that understand the basic and they want to move forward, which is SQL, Python, PHP. So you come here, you click what you want to learn from, then you learn it step by step. Don't jump, just step by step. Okay, so I think this guy will give us what we want. I made a mistake here. Okay, let's refresh that to see if we can see any difference. Awesome. That's what we were looking for. So we can see this is aligned. You have the first name, email address, and there. All right, so we need to submit this. Let's give another, let's bring in a button which we can submit this. So this button, we have a class which is button success. Then we submit. Okay, then that should do the trick. Let's refresh and see. It's not giving us a bootstrap version. Okay, all right, it's giving us, but an old version. So to make that nice, let's put this in a div. As form control. All right, that's better. We just ignore that. So we can see we have the first name, last name, email address, and a message. But the message needs to have this also. Let me just copy this, paste it. Okay, awesome. Ignore the UI. All right, so next thing we'll do is to create where we want to display this. When it's submitted, we can display it. Let's create another div. Which will have an unordered list. I hope you learned this. Unordered list and list. So this will be a list that will have all what we submit, which will be 1, 2, 3, 4 things. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this will have an ID, which will be first name. I hope you're following because you need to know this. Last name, email. So message. Okay, so let's see how this will appear. Okay, we have something empty, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all empty. Let's start now to the amazing part. So we need to reference our script, which will be form.js. We actually don't have that, so we need to create it. Awesome. So before we continue, you can ask me any question. Or if you don't have any question, I'll continue. But I just need to know that we are getting along very well.
We have questions.
I have a question.
Okay. You can ask a question.
Okay. Emmanuel can ask his own first.
No, actually, I think you are just a little bit fast. Like, that's all. I clearly grab what you're saying, but
Okay. The reason why I'm fast in this area is that I must have understood that you guys learn HTML. So
yeah, but I feel like a lot of people really didn't know what Bootstrap is, how you going to import the link, so I feel like it must have probably thrown some people, off balance because if I'm not mistaken, you imported Bootstrap from somewhere into your code, right? And yeah, so some probably may not know why. And I feel like it's important if they even understood that, as simple as it is. So that will, if building the whole form, I think it's even as important as understanding how the interactivity, the JS, we also work. So I feel like maybe you should just take a little time, to explain how you imported your bootstrap into your HTML, and then the classes you use in your button, the classes in bootstrap, the button and all that. So just probably, I think the people here were a little bit late for you. So just try and take your time. I know you have something else to do, but I think we appreciate it.
It's not even about something else. I actually asked if we understand Bootstrap. I didn't get any response. So I was thinking that everybody knows it. And
Probably some people have not heard it before, so they don't even know what to ask about it. So, imagine
yeah,
what you have not
yeah,
this.
yeah. Yes, that's the point. When I ask if you understand this, you have to tell me, no, I don't. Explain. Then I'll stop at that moment and explain it for you. But I understand what you mean. Okay, so in Bootstrap is a CSS framework that is being used on your website. You understand? So
Yes, sir.
now all this syntax is based on this Bootstrap. We have the container. Container is okay. Let me just open this. Let me open it. Okay, and this is a compiled. This is a compiled CSS which has everything. You
Yes,
understand?
sir.
Like this container now, we can see the
Yes, sir.
padding right, which is what here, which is the padding right.
Okay.
Then we can see so many attributes based on it. So instead of us to write this code with this class, we had to import this external library, which is Bootstrap, just to make it faster for us. But I was thinking maybe you guys have already understood it. So it's no big deal. It's no big deal. We can actually customize our own CSS and use it instead of getting those to. You understand? It's just based on the functionality. Okay, then this form, this is a div based on what you guys learned. This container is where everything wraps under, which is this one, line 12 to line 52. So all this is under this guy, which is a divider. Which I hope you guys learned this. Did you guys learn this?
Yeah.
Okay,
I think.
so yeah, so this is a divider, and you can see I'm wrapping everything inside based on the class that Bootstrap gives me, which will make it give me this the padding that I need. And it gives me padding from the line. If I remove this, let me just comment it out so you see the difference. Okay, you can see now. I removed the bootstrap. It's giving me. You can still do what you want to do, but that is just an external CSS just to make it. It's up to you. It's a choice. It's not a must. You understand? It's just to make it look more presentable, just like what I did, which is presentable for bootstrap. Which let me just take you so you can see. Okay, so you can see that this is a class which is on Bootstrap. But you have to get the point. Bootstrap is important if you don't have time to be giving all these classes. It makes the work easier for you. You understand? All these classes are inside here. You can see. Okay, that's just the minimum. Okay, let's check this one.
So how do we know which of the bootstrap to actually import? How do we know?
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. So Bootstrap, let's just look at Bootstrap. Let me just break it down. Bootstrap has so many versions. It is best for us to import uh, the latest one. You can see they have the limited version. They have version 1X, which is the beginning of Bootstrap. They have version 2, they have version 3, they have version 4. And 4.5 is the latest. So how to use this is based on you. Well, I strongly advise you use the latest tool, which is you can just go through. Let me just to the so it won't take us out of line. So you can just go through this and understand what it means. So you can, as you can see now, this is a name. This is imported. Let me just import this. This is important. Let me see if I can see any difference in what I get before. Okay, you can see there's a difference now. So that's another version of Bootstrap. So just like software, they upgrade their build. You can see this one is 3.4.1. I hope I'm not too fast.
No.
Okay, and this one is 4.5.0. So based on this update, you know which one to use. But I strongly advise that you use the latest one every day because just like software, the updates based on people's feedback. You will understand.
Yeah.
So on this form, there's nothing unique about it. It's just a form. Or let me ask this question: did you guys learn about form? The HTML. Did you learn about form?
We didn't get
No, we didn't get to touch that. We didn't get to touch that.
Oh, okay, I understand what it is.
yeah, it was just the elementary tags, you know. The
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, I got read. I'm sorry. Joseph actually has a question.
Okay.
That's when you asked the other time here. Joseph, can you quickly shoot? What's your question, please? Just very quickly. Very quickly.
Yes, sir. The other time, our teacher was trying to create a form and create form.js. So he just pressed something and the Visual Studio Code created it for him. I wanted to ask if it was an extension or just comes with his own version.
Oh, okay. It's not actually well. It might be an extension. You know how to download an extension, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think it is an extension, but I'm not really sure because when I install my VS Code, I have to install the necessary extension to work with.
Oh,
You understand? So I need to install all the libraries that will make my work easier. So when I click this,
okay.
and I understand what you mean. Let's say that let's say this is an extension. Sorry, I skip that fast. So we click this and ask us unable to open this file. We just create it. I don't think it's an extension. It's not. I don't think it's an extension. So
Okay, sir.
it's
Thank
not
you, sir.
extension.
you either create a thing that doesn't exist, which is what it is. So you just click and it's appropriate as a multiple. So that is that. So let
Thank
me,
you, sir.
yeah, okay, you're welcome. Let me explain this.
Thank you, Mr. Glory.
Okay, do you have any other question? Let me see.
Yeah, there is a question actually.
Okay,
Sorry, did you inscribe your form inside the container?
yes, I actually did that. The container is like, okay?
Okay, so you mean all other elements are inserted inside the container that houses the form, right?
Yes,
Because I'm
exactly.
seeing form I'm seeing .form book, meaning that all of these they are enclosed inside the closing tag of the form, right?
Yeah.
Is that what that thing means? I'm seeing .form group at the with div for label. I'm also seeing .form group at the end of
No.
the div
Yeah,
for
that's
last name label.
yes, that is an extension. So it just gives you the class name of this form. If I add an ID to this, let's say I,
Yes.
yeah, it will show me it's an
Okay.
extension. It will show. I think
Okay.
what I'll do is I'll list out the extensions that you need, then drop it on the channel. So you can just download it and it will make your work easier. You can also observe that on my own, you can see this line. It is aligned. You understand?
Yeah.
So the line well. I'll just list out the extensions, then drop it for you guys so you can install.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So let me explain this form now. This form is just like a form that you're being given in school. They give you an empty form, which is like now is an empty form, which is this. So they ask you to fill in your details, which is your first name, last name, email address, and message. So what you do is that you're given a form, you need to fill. So the function of the form is to get what you're feeling, then submit it to like it's just the form itself. You understand? They give you a form in school. When you're done, submit this form to the office. So now you're submitting this form now. When you're done, the values will be submitted to the office after we click this submit button. You understand? So we submit, we fill it with our details and we submit. All right. So that's that. So another thing is the input. We have so many inputs. It might be input type text area. That's a text area, which is for the big box that we add here. This is text area. This input type is for email addresses. So if you type something here, it is not an email. You have to add to it because this particular field is for email. So this I had to use this for text because first name and last name are text, obviously. Then okay, let me add another one. Let me add something else, which is age. Age. Okay. So this age will be what will it be? Does anybody know?
Number.
Exactly. To the number. So this will get this value as a number and submit. So let me change it to age. So, so having modified that, let me add another field to it. Age. Okay. So I hope there is no other question. Let me continue. There's no other question, right? Yeah. It's okay. One important thing we should note or take note is on this button, we need to add something to call our function. Functions are a form of written instructions which we execute when it is being called. So on this button, we need to tell this form that, hey, when all this is being properly filled, when the user clicks this button, which is this guy, the form should submit to somewhere and display here. This is what we want to achieve. We want to display this form, the input down here. Okay. So we need to add an handler. It's called an handler. So what we do is we add an on click. There are so many handlers that we have. Like you can see now, based on my extension on VS Code, it will bring out stuff. It is on click, on double click, which will check event checker, which will check on is this stuff double clicked, or things are not that's kind of complex. So let's just stick to this. What you want to do is on click of this button, it should bring us this function, which is called, let's say, submit form. I'll explain. This submit form is a function that we will write on this our form.js. Hope you understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have any question? Am I too fast? So let's just clear out this and move on. Do we have any questions?
Let's see.
Hello, does anyone have any questions?
Let's proceed.
Okay, all right. So can you ask, or should we continue?
And click event.
No, I'm not hearing you.
The event of unclicking your code. I
Yeah.
didn't quite get that.
Okay, so this this is just to tell the form that when a user click this button, which is this button, when a user clicks this button, this should happen. When a user click this button, our JavaScript file should run and open a function which is called submit form. For now, we don't have that function yet. So this is an event listener, which will tell you that, oh, you're done with this form. When you click this button, it will call this guy, which is a submit button. Okay, let me just quickly do this so we can. So it won't be. Let me quickly do this. This is how we write the function in JavaScript. So this is the name of the function. Let's say, let me add that. Let's just say alert to click me. Hope I'm not too fast.
No, sir.
Okay, all right. So this is a function now, submit form. When you click this button now, this should happen. I'm just showing you now so you can understand the on click function. So let me do that. Okay, submit this, you can see. When I click this, it will call a function, which is this guy, this function, which will run this submit form, which is this. If you make a mistake here, it will show an error.
Yes.
That is why we need to open our console to see if we will have any error. I'm not praying there should be an error, but on the safe side, you need to know. So you can see the error here. But I know why this is refreshing. I'll fix that. So there's an error there. We know what the error is. So there's no function like that. So if we rename this to match what we are calling here, refresh, there must be an error because it's corrected. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, we don't need this guy, so just delete it out. Okay, do you understand it now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So go here. So we write a function, which is function is the name of the function which we want to call. And in case we don't need this, that's complex, not basic. But this is a function name, this is a function, this is a name, this is what we want to call, which is submit form, which is in our JS file. So we name that to that. Let's test it. So this is where the console comes in. The developer needs to test if his stuff is working. The only way to do that is either use alert or console log. Right. So let's try that. We click that, we can see it. Then one very important thing when submitting a form you need to prevent it from loading, from reloading, the quick reloading. We need to stop that. So you can see it's testing, but it's too fast. That's not really cool. So the only way to do that is to prevent it from loading again. So what we do here is stop event prevent default. So this will stop. Let me see if there is any description so I can read it out for you guys. Okay, if invoked when the cancelable attribute value is true. It is complex. But to break it down, this will not allow the browser to reload this page. So there's no need to reload it again. We're just submitting a form. So we prevent that from happening. Let's check if it is working. Okay, let me refresh this. Don't need all this guy. All right, you can see it's no more. It's no more reloading. You can see. You can see it's no more reloading on your touch. So this will not reload because of what we have done here. Do you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So with that being said, we need this guy there. So let's continue. So variables, very important. Let's first name is equals to document, but I'll explain. Get element ID. So what this does is that this document is a JavaScript default functionality. It gets the element which is this ID which is here by ID. Okay, let me come again. What we're doing here is that we're trying to get an element which is this guy, which is this first name guy by this ID, which is F name. Hope you're following. We're getting this. This is an element now in JavaScript. This element. So the only way to get it from this file, which is this form.html file, we need to get it based on this ID, which is first name. So how we get that is let first name, we have to put it in a variable so we can use it. Let first name is equal to document.get. This is what we call DOM. Document. And you have a to do. Hello? Document what's it called? Okay, DOM. Document.get element by ID, which is what we call first name. And what do we need from this guy? Can anyone answer me? What do we need from this first name? Hello?
The text, the input.
Yeah, we need the input, but JavaScript understands it as a value. What we do here is to, after we have already gotten this guy, we know where this guy is. We have gotten this guy. We don't have what we have. So we have seen the guy, but we have not asked him guy what we have. So what we do now is to add a value, get a value to this. Value. So we add a value to this. So we add a value and we can do the same with others. I need to duplicate this because that needs to happen. Okay. So the next one we will do is get last name, which is this guy, right name. And the next one we'll do is age. The next one is email. The next one will be message. Hope you understand what I'm doing.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So this will be the last one because you can't use two variables. And this will be age. This will be email. And obviously this will be message. All right. So we've gotten the value of this. So let us do something. Let's check if it is seeing our values one by one. That's why I say control is very important as a developer. So let's check for the first one first if we can get it. Okay, let's check it. Submit this. That's right. Submit. So you can see it's getting the value of this guy. I'm putting it here. Let me just switch it to last name. So, last name. Okay. So that's it. Do you understand what I just did?
Come again, please.
Okay, so what I'm doing is that I'm getting the value for these guys based on their ID.
Okay.
Which,
Yes, yes, yes,
okay,
yes.
we get this part. All right. So what I want to do is to get the values, which is first name, last name, age name, message from this form. So for a developer, you have to test if what you've done is working. You, for me, at this moment, where I'm teaching you guys, I want to see if what I've done is working, if this ID is the same. So if I change this to maybe I made a mistake or I forgot to click to type in. So the only way I'll check this if it is working is to console the log first name to see the error, which is what I've said so far. So if I refresh this and type .NET, there will be an error, which will show me cannot use property value of null. Of null in the sense that nothing like this exists. That ID doesn't exist in the machine. So we know where the problem is. So we just put question. So we phrase it, we type it back to let's say Victor. Right? To submit. You can see that it gives the value here and stores here. Start again. So you understand? So it gives this value from this guy. Every time I click this submit, I'm testing it. Let's say Daniel. Hope you understand what I'm doing.
Sir?
Do you understand what I'm doing?
Yes, yes, yes,
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
yes.
So
Yes, sir.
what I've done is working now. So I need to proceed.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
I can
yes.
confirm that what I have submitted, I can get it. Okay. So the next thing we do now is to display these values here, which is down here. This form is ugly. Let me try and make this form better. 1 minute. Okay. Under this container, I need to have a rule. All right.
So, sir, excuse me, sir.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I'm with you.
yeah, sorry, please, the whole of this class, I mean, all the forms and the all of the, you please, you help us wrap it in a, probably in a folder and send it to us,
Okay.
probably, so we can, you get it,
Okay,
sir.
yeah. One,
Yeah?
one important thing. Do you guys have a GitHub account?
Yes, definitely, but so, I think it will, for, sir?
Yes, I'm with you.
So I just feel like to be, to be fair with everybody, you can probably send it to
Okay, since
our Telegram, yeah,
everybody has
so
it
that we
there.
can download it there because not
Okay,
everybody has it, yeah, GitHub
okay,
account.
okay, okay, cool. That's cool. So I'll do that and send a link. 1 minute. I have to charge my laptop. So,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, are you still with me?
Yes.
Okay, so create a I need to create a rule that will wrap it all up for maybe class. Yeah, that's from Bootstrap. I'll explain later. And we have to close this with so basically this will be active for the container. Which is, okay, so based on that my extension, you can see the row and the container. Okay. So we have this, and what we do is to create to create two, to create two columns. So first of all, I'll add this as column. Sorry, the bootstrap blank. So this has to be embedded. And very important, your code needs to be nice. The code needs to be nice so it can be readable. That's very important. So this column now, let's check out this column is so we know what we're doing. Okay, awesome. So you can see it's not still good. It's so bad. Cool. All right. So we have this form here on this line. Do you know why this submit is having a line? Okay, so here's the issue. So it should be good, not form control. All right. So we have these six. Okay, let me explain now what I just did. So in Bootstrap, we have what we call row. In row, you know what row is? It is this side, this side, this side. Like let me show you something. Let me show you. Okay, so in rows now, this is an Excel sheet now. You can see this is one row, which is A. The next one is B. And so in Bootstrap, we have rows, which is all these. So all these can be 12. So what I did here is for 12, I put 6, which is half of 12. So you can see that this one takes half of this page. Let me close this guy for now. So this guy, this is 12 now. The whole of this page now is 12. So this is 6 and this is 6. So this guy takes 6 and this guy takes 6. Do you understand? To
Yes.
make it more presentable. Okay, so let me continue.
Also, fine.
Okay,
Hmm?
so let's
Yeah.
continue. All right.
Yeah. The whole show.
Hello. Okay. So what we want to do now uh, is to actually put those putting it inside the console. You can actually play on the page based on this div. So we actually did this div just to display this guy. You must have followed along, right? So we have first name, last name, age, email, message. But there will be an issue because we have uh, the same ID, so which is age, email, and message. So that won't work. So let's change this to age result. Message result. So on our JavaScript, we need to reference that to write this value. So let me just put it. Okay, so what we do now is this is the dumb one. It's getting the ID, which is this guy. Get the ID, which is this guy first name. The same thing I did with this guy. So I get it first, but what I'm doing here is I'm getting the value first. So what I'll do here is to get this value and put it. But before doing that, I need to know where I'm putting it. So this is what I'm doing now. I'm getting the element, which is first name, which is from here, from this particular area, which is first and last name. So let me just continue. So the next one is, let me just leave it there for now. I'll continue. Next one is last name. You just duplicate it. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 ways. Okay. All right. So first name, last name, H result, email result, and message result. So I've gotten the elements now. What I want to do is to give these guys and append here to
Talking
these
on
guys.
my today.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
I know what man you match you. Alpha. Okay. So what we do
Sorry,
now
I
is
didn't know my mic was on.
okay, Jerry. So what we do now is to append it by using this
Nice.
inner HTML. So take note of that. This will write this whatever we are getting. So so we are getting this now. This is what we are getting. We want to write something. So this is kind of a question. Okay, you've gotten these elements now, and you want to put and let's say value to it. So this dot inner HTML is the value. For now, it is empty. Obviously, it is empty based on this. You can't see anything. So they are all empty. So it's getting the the value of this div. And since it is empty, we want to append this to it. So what we do is equals to first name. So close this. So let's check that for now and see what we get. Okay, first name, that's it. Submit. Did you see the magic?
Yeah.
Okay. It gets this value and adds it here. And you refresh, it's done. So that's what you want to do for all of them. So let me just duplicate this. Last name, H, H, email, and message. Okay, all right. So now our form is ready. Do we have any questions before we go back? Do you have any
So,
questions?
sorry, the inner.html, is it converting it or is just appending?
Okay, the inner HTML is not, it's kind of getting, it's kind of, okay, it's giving you a book now and say, write something on this book. So by writing something on this book, we already have the value from here. We can change it. Let me change it to, let's say, Godfrey. So we are getting the plain sheet of the paper, and we want to write this in here. So it's like opening that book for you to write this guy, which is equals to the string of this guy. So let me just say that if I submit this without putting it in here, it's writing just code without any paper, which is inner HTML. So hope you understand that.
Yeah, sure.
Any other question?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So let's continue. Yeah, our form is almost ready. So let's take it. So Victor, Daniel, H. You can if it since it is a number, you can actually select numbers from yeah from this instead of typing. So this guy is 50 years old, and his email is let's say it's my email now, and the message is hello, CW, it's guy, guys and girls. How are you guys doing? Okay. So if I click this form now, it should give us all this down here. So let's check it. Check it. All right. So that's what we're looking at for. So when we submit the form,
Essence of form click event handler.
you say
I say, is that the essence of that event handler?
exactly, yeah. So the events handler, which is this guy, it when you submit this form, it calls this JavaScript function, which is here, and it calls it and loads all this logic. So first of all, it gives the first name, last name, age, email, message, and gets the value from all these guys. So when it's done getting the value, the next thing it will do is to append, write the value to this empty paper,
Mm.
which is let's just imagine it's an empty paper. It appends the value from this first name to here. So that is the function. Okay, so we have this now, but it's kind of uh, let's say okay, let me just start with myself. My name, email, uh, and also you need to. Do you guys know lorem ipsum? You
Eh?
know
Come
lorem
again?
ipsum.
Should give you 1 minute.
Okay. Is anyone there? Is any other person there?
Yeah, what yeah, please. What year?
Okay, all right. Yeah. So, I don't know what I need to do first. Okay. Let me check this again. What did I need to do? Okay, we have gotten the value now. Let's just, but it's actually not cool. It's okay. I wanted to play this here. Yeah, I remember. No. So it's actually not cool to submit this thing and it appears immediately. The reason why it's appearing is because this text is big. So in order to stop that, we need to wrap it up. So let's fix that. In this particular div, let's add a class code and the it's okay. So you can know that it can't load that guy, no matter how plenty it is. So you can see that since I added the column, which is automatical, it has the margin, the margin, and everything to know. It doesn't need to break in. It knows that that is safe. Let me try it again. You can't actually type text. You can only type numbers. Right. So you can see no matter how plenty that form is, it will be wrapped around this column, which is 6. If we inspect this now, you see that uh, um, see that the column is where the I see a column here. But under here, you see, you see the column of this particular page. That's why you need to get used to that. So this submit, for me, it's actually not good to submit this thing immediately. So what we can do is to add a timeout period. In my own case, let me do a little magic. Okay, so what I'll do is set timeout, which will be wrapped around this function. If you don't understand, you can tell me. I'll stop. Hello? Are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So if you don't understand this, you can stop me and I will stop it and explain it to you. Okay, this is a function now. It's wrapped around it. Okay, so this needs to be wrapped around here. I'll explain, don't worry. Okay, so what I did here is to wrap this stuff around this set timeout. So this set timeout is it counts in seconds. Let me do this. Okay, this counts in seconds. 1 second is 1,000. 2 seconds is 2,000. 4 seconds is 4,000. So this will only happen when it is tap, tap, tap. That's like 4 seconds. This will only happen when it's 4 seconds. So it turns this form won't be submitted immediately. Let me test that. If that's working. What should I type? Hello. People. Submit. So I'll click the submit button now. Notice that it's still counting. You're seeing it appears after 4 seconds. So if I change this, if you think it is too much, if I change it to 3 seconds and refresh. Okay, 20 and this is set time. Please stop. That's 2 seconds. Don't mind the way I counted it, 2 seconds. So, do you have any question here? Let me explain.
I have a question, sir.
Okay, sure. Shoot.
Set timeout, is it like an inbuilt function or you just give it the name?
Yeah, it's an inbuilt function. It's from JavaScript.
Oh,
So,
okay, sir.
okay, I'll send you guys a reference link so you can note all these basic functionalities, all these basic syntax. So set timeout is if you want to do a particular task, you don't need to do it at that particular time. If you want to time like 1 minute, 1 minute to be 10,000. Sorry, it should be I think like 60,000 or so. So that's 60 seconds. So you put that the amount of seconds you want it to run. After that amount of time, the code will run. It won't do it automatically. So you can choose to ignore this, or you can choose to use it. I just have to use it because for it to submit like that is automatically somehow. So you have to put it. Any other question?
No, sir.
Okay, all right. So do you assume that you all understand it?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Do you all understand it?
Clear to everyone.
I've actually exhausted my time for a long period.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, to be very sincere, I just have to break it all down.
So yeah.
And yeah.
Wow.
In the place of no question, I would like to call this our tutorial to an end.
Wow.
So you do enjoy it. So if you have any questions, you can message me on Telegram. You can get my number and just shoot your question. And thank you so much, guys, for
Yes,
listening.
thank you, sir.
That was something else. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, so guys, we have come to the end of the boot camp, right? Yeah, it's
Yes,
been
sir.
crazy 3.5 days. We've had about 7 sessions, right? This is 7, so it's been a journey. I want to thank you all for coming around. Thank you all for registering. Thank you all for joining. I really hope that everyone basically has learned something, right? Now this boot camp try to take care of web development, right? Let me just show something real quick. First thing I want to say is, as we wrap up now, can we see my screen? Can we see my screen?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So
Yes, sir.
So basically, this is official website of the CW Bootcamp, and right, what I've been saying for a while now is that we are actually on a journey. You can see we have so many languages, right? This is your front end and all that. This is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, C++, SQL, Java, Python, and Ruby on Rails, and all that, right? So stick around. The bootcamp is officially ending now, right? But stick around. We have the Facebook group which is opened. There are a couple of people there, right? If you have not joined in yet, join in there. I think that might be the primary place where we're engaging ourselves. While Telegram is also going to be running, right? So stay around in the Telegram group, stay around in the Facebook group, right? For all you have learned this weekend, start to practice, right? Take it bit by bit. Practice your HTML, right? Practice your H1 tags and all that. Practice your images, right? Practice your CSS, and then practice your JavaScript, right? Now, all of us who handled, this session, myself, Oko Hogan, Sir Godfred, Akwan, right, are all in the Telegram group presently, right? And like he said, if there are any questions, put it on the group, in the Telegram, Facebook. If you need any clarifications, put it up. Ongoing projects you are working on, share it. Let's all contribute in all that, right? Once again, welcome to the end of the bootcamp. It was good to have everyone. One thing that I dropped something to yesterday morning rather. I said it would be nice if you can make a post on social media about this. Let's create some little noise, right? On Telegram, the platform is at CW Bootcamp. In Twitter, it's CW Bootcamp as well. Facebook, same name, right? And so if you want to make a post, you can simply just tag the platform and all that, right? Then finally, like has been announced, we have another bootcamp coming up next week, right? More details of that having been put on the group and all that, so I'm not going to really talk about that. There's another bootcamp coming up, right? And in this one, you're going to take all this knowledge. It's one thing to know all these things in pieces. It's another thing to take all of these into and build a full project. We're going to be taking all this knowledge and building a full project together, right? It's going to be like this. I'm coding, you are coding in your own end and all that. We're going to be 2 full website projects and all that, utilizing all of these things, your HTML and your bootstrap, right? If you noticed, Sir Godfred Akpan talked about GitHub. GitHub is crucial, for you if you want to. GitHub is a platform where developers around the world come to share their projects, right? You can upload the project on GitHub, and you can upload your project on GitHub, and allow other people to access it and make changes and all that, repository and all that stuff, right? So we'll be looking also at GitHub, registering for GitHub, exploring GitHub, and also you'll be uploading your project to GitHub and all that stuff. We'll also be looking at how you can host your HTML website, on your, attach your project to your domain in case you want to be the person watching all that, right? It is really packed. There's also going to be certificates, and one other bonus is that registering for that, you'll be getting all of the videos from this introduction bootcamp. There's a whole lot, but more details will come on the group, so there's no pressure on it, right? So once again, we have come to the end, and thank you, sir, Godfrey Akpan. It was really cool having you, and I learned, I learned that teaching is not with Giagera. I like to shout and all that and jump and demonstrate all that stuff, but you just took it calmly, like you just calmed everything down. That's really cool. Thank you so much. Thank you for everyone who has stayed. It's quite interesting that every night we have the same set of people who get to stay to the end, and so I want to give a shout out to you guys, Jessica, Joseph, Victor, and Emmanuel, yes, and then myself, right? So
Yeah. Thank you so much, Victor, for
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
yeah, everyone's welcome. Pre-pass, everyone's right? So once again, stick around in the group.
Thank you, sir.
Work on projects, put your project forward. Let's help ourselves grow. Web developers earn good money. Ask Sir Godfrey Akpan. Ask him. He knows about that, right? So you are in the right place. Now, this is not primarily about money. If you read the purpose for the bootcamp, while people get trained in programming and coding skills, right, it is for you to solve the world's biggest problems, right? There's a whole lot of problems that can solve with tech, right? And so that's the primary purpose of the bootcamp. Of course, money is necessary. Money is
sure.
Money will come, right? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So, okay, sorry. Yeah, go on, please.
Yeah, and one other important thing you need to note is that you need to have the passion for this. It's not just about as in there's so many money flying around. You need to like what you want to do, so that even if there's no money, you have to continue. So by continuing, people will see that, this guy, this girl, they have passion for this. This is the kind of person I want to work with. So passion is very important. If you have passion,
yes,
we will learn it seamlessly.
For example, I can say that, to be honest, we had about 100 people register and all that, and I can say that out of all of that lot, less than 10 actually have the passion for it, right? Less than 10 actually have the passion for it.
Yeah, exactly.
So once again, guys, welcome to the end of the boot camp. Put a post on social media, just one post. I mean, it will just take 5 minutes. Put something up. So Instagram, that's fine. Tag the boot camp. If you tag myself personally, that's okay. Facebook, put something up. Facebook, you have to tag me, right? I'm Olami Goke Glory Victor on Facebook. The boot camp is the group, so you might need to tag that, right? So put a post up, put it tonight, put it tomorrow, and all that, right? So thank you so much. Everyone have a great night rest.
Thank you so much.
Details of the boot camp, upcoming boot camp, put on the groups and all that, right? It's not free, it's paid, but it's worth every penny, because, like he said, learning these things elsewhere is expensive. I've paid tens of dollars to learn this thing and all that, all that stuff, right? So everyone have a great night.
All right, Glory. Thanks.
Yeah, good night.
Good night, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.